evening, good evening, hello, hi, how are you? How's it going? Where is everybody? Hello, hi. Hey there, hi. Hello everybody, say hi. Hello, Aline is the first. Congratulations on being the first person to say hello. Hi. How is everybody on this wonderful Thursday? They are drifting in, Pat. They are. They'll take their time. They're just hanging their coats up. Hi Vicky. Hi Marie. Hi Pat. Hi Aline. Hello everybody. Hi David. Hi Siobhan. Where's Pugsy? Pugsy is downstairs. I've had a very busy day and I got home a bit late, so I am doing it up here because this is in my office and it just means that everything's here and I just sit down and do it. Whereas normally I have to cart my table downstairs. My table is my ironing board, which I put my ring light on and then I sit on the sofa, and that was just a faff that I did not want to do today. So yes, I will do an office tour. I'm not going to do one right now because it's messy, but I tell you what, I will do an office tour at some point. That'll be fun. We could do that. We could do a live office tour. I'm totally up to that. You are on the right live, although if I say that this is the right live, this is live, it's only live whilst it's live. So if you're watching this back, then it's technically not live and you're on the wrong live. But this is the live right now. Hi Chelsea. It's not long until I get to see Chelsea and Karen in person, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Evening everybody, hi. I'm sorry I'm a bit cash this evening. I am actually in my pyjamas. I felt like I'd earned that this week. So you're going to see top half of me, but not the bottom. And yes, this is Warm Live Part 2. Always amazed at Chelsea's ability to be on this live on two accounts at once. That's impressive. It's your first live. Welcome to your first live. Woo! Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are pleased to have you here. I feel like this one came around super quick. Can you believe next month, guys, we will have been doing this for an entire year? Some of you were here right from the beginning. Some of you have joined us as soon as or as recent as this month. Can you believe we've been doing it for a year? I can't. The time has flown. Marie's in her PJs. Chelsea's in her PJs. I think Siobhan might be in PJs. I do feel very cozy actually. This isn't even my hoodie. This is literally Nigel's hoodie. I stole it from him. My wedding pic. Oh, is that my profile picture? Yeah, that was at my sister's wedding. That was me and Nigel, and I painted my nails, which I'm going to start doing more because I actually really like painting my nails. It's quite fun. I bought some black nail polish to wear to the Fragrance Foundation Awards, but because I've got quite good nails for a boy, I've got massive spade hands. I won't tell you what my best friend calls me. My nickname, it is incredibly rude. I don't feel I can say it in this audience, but she calls me a very rude name for my hands because they're so big. So I have very big nails, and I painted them black, and I was like, oh my god, they look a bit intense, a bit kind of too much. So I was like, oh, I'm never painting my nails. And then we painted them glittery pink for my sister's wedding, and it was perfection. Happy Thanksgiving, yes, if you celebrate. Not yet in PJs, says Siobhan. You still have time. Leopard print dressing gown. Aline, this is why we love you. This is why we love you. Carol's excited. She likes these formats to know what they are. Thank you for congratulating them 1 year. Yes. Yes, I can't believe we've been doing it here. And we're going to do it again next year. Very excited for that. Very excited for that. Cool. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Hi. I feel like, you know, when you get to that point of tired where you're just past tired and you feel like, is this real? Is this real life? That's where I am today. So I think this is going to be a bit of a wild one. I can feel it. Proofreading a job application, you need to submit by Sunday. Ooh, exciting. Well, all the best for the new job. Let's hope you get shortlisted, interviewed and appointed. That would be lovely. I'm going to try and not put my HR hat on because that's really boring. No one wants to hear about HR. Okie dokie. Shall we start? I feel like we've got enough people. Should we just go? No. Can you tell us about next year's plans for Essential Scents? Yes, I can tell you in detail that we are doing Essential Scents next year, and there will be Essential Scents next year, and we will be doing Essential Scents next year, and that is all I can share. I think it's exciting. We've got some fantastic fragrances to show you in a slightly different way, and I'm going to stop talking because I might give it all away by mistake because I get excited. But you just have to wait to find out. But you're not going to have to wait that long because obviously the first box is in February because we've got our citrus box in January to kind of blast away some of the cobwebs. And we still have got Gourmand in December. My little Lea's had to buy a Caroline Hirons kit with her Bun Friday code. Rhonda, totally understand. Anything related to La Hirons is fine. That's an excuse we will always accept. We love the Hirons in this household. Big fan. Have I told you all about the story that at the time that I went to... Okay, here's the story. I went to a Frederick Malle breakfast at the Ritz. Yes, I realise that makes me sound like a real butthole for saying that. That did just come out of my mouth. And it was a very weird breakfast. I got to meet Frederick Malle for the first time. It was kind of Frederick Malle's here, so we might as well invite people to some stuff with him because he's not here very often, which was a good few years ago. And they're at the Ritz, which has terrible lighting for Instagram photos. Can I just put that out there? Just, you don't want to take a photo in there, it's blurry. So I got to meet Frederick Malle. He is a very enigmatic, quiet man. He's like the opposite of Roger Dove. He's very kind of, just very, very French, very classic, very understated, Frederick Malle. So I've got this wonderful photo of me and Frederick Malle standing next to each other, next to a massive vase of lilies. And we both look like we're at an aunt's funeral. It's very funny. I should post that somewhere. I'll find it, see if I can find it. Anyway, I am getting to Caroline Hirons tangent. So I had the pleasure I had Darius Alavi, who's Persolaise, on my right, and Caroline Hirons on my left. And I have met Caroline a couple times before that, so I know her. She's been very friendly to me. She's lovely. Big fan of hers. We're both ADHD brain wonder people, so I'm a big fan of hers. And I had the most riotous breakfast ever, and she convinced me to try and steal a giant fat piece of Portrait of a Lady by hiding it under my Alexander McQueen scarf, which I tried to do but got caught. So that is my most bougie story ever, I think, about how I had afternoon tea with Frederick Malle and Caroline Hirons, and she was a blast. And it takes a lot to get Caroline Hirons out of the house to a fragrance event, and I think Frederick Malle is one of the few people that can do it. So there you go. That is my really exciting story that probably took 25 minutes. There you go. But I didn't get that giant fat piece of Portrait of a Lady, unfortunately. But let me take it. So, yes, let's just jump into it because I'm going to stand here talking about Caroline Hirons for hours. So, let's do Warm Live 2. Let's jump in. So, let's get us up to speed. Obviously, the usual applies. This will take only half an hour. I'm lying. There's no right or wrong. Say what you like. We always like to encourage discussion, and if you smell something, it's there. It's really good to get everybody's opinions. There'll be 5 boxes for the best comments, best questions. Let's see how we go with that tonight. You guys always surprise me. And we're just going to go for it. No, I wasn't stealing an actual portrait. It was just a giant fat piece. I do also have a photo of that as well, which I think might just be me, or it might be me and Caroline. I really need to dig this out. I'm gonna have to search Ritz in my phone photos to see if I can find some photos. But Caroline Hirons is amazing. I was so excited when her book came out. I bought 3 copies. I bought an audiobook copy for me. I bought another copy for me. Oh, I bought 4 copies then, and I bought 2 for family. I bought my sister one and my sister-in-law. So there you go. I bought everybody copies. Anyway, moving on. So we are looking at Warm. This is the second Warm live. We've done the first Warm live. We did that 2 weeks ago. And Warm, if you weren't here for our first live, that is the replacement for the fragrance family Oriental. Last time I shall say that word. It's a very outdated term, and we discussed that at length in our lives. I'm not going to rehash that, but essentially 2 reasons why the industry as a whole is moving away from it. It's seen as a little bit, or quite a lot bit, offensive towards people who are Asian. But also, it doesn't really tell us anything about the fragrances that are in that family. It doesn't mean anything. It's not easy. It doesn't tell us. So that's why we're moving away. So the industry is using amber. I like amber. We will use amber. It's kind of be an interchangeable word with warm. I like warm because Amber is actually a very specific thing in perfumery. It's an accord. It's an accord of labdanum, benzoin and vanilla that creates this glowing golden feel that is reminiscent of amber. So I think amber can also in itself be a little bit confusing. So that's why we've gone for warm, because all of these fragrances are warm and cozy. So that's what we like. That's what we've done. And as Gavin says, a wamba or a wamba. Sounds rude. Okay, so the first half of this box contained launches from the 1970s up until the 1990s. So we looked, as we often do, very much at the classics of the genre, or just like kind of the core pillars, fragrances that showcase what are the key themes in the genre. So we had an amber, which was the Serge Lutens Ombre Sultan. We had, this is where my memory fails me, we had a floral amber, or as we like to call them, a flamber, which was the lovely powdery, orange blossom heavy, but warm vanilla-esque classique eau de toilette by Jean-Paul Gaultier, which was a classic floral amber, a flamber. And then we had opium, which was all about spices and resins. And then we had obsession, which was a really unusual amber actually, because it's an amber, more of a vanilla, and then also a weird sort of green thing, but it's such an icon. We included that as well. So that's the first four. So it was a really exciting first half of the box. This second half is more about contemporary twists. So we know what the genre is now that we've done the first four, but the second half is more about where can these be pulled in interesting and different directions. What I find really fascinating about this box is that the first half, nothing was launched after about 1993. I think that was Classique and Serge Lutens were the same year. Everything else was kind of before then. So it's kind of a bit of a historic box in that sense. Then this half, everything has been launched within the last 10 years. So the fragrance that's the oldest is 2011. So we've kind of got really two massive halves here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through those. Opirong, no, it's just opium. We love opium. You loved it, Gavin. Get your flamber out. Nick, DM me and I'll show you. Why did this make me think the Wombles of Wimbledon? I love that. Anna says, this information is brilliant. Honestly, not going to lie though, I'm willing you to speed through so I can see who won Drag Race. Okay, all right, fine. I get it. I'm on board with that. So let's go. Opium. Kirsten, Opium wins the first box of the night because Opium is brilliant. Opium, brilliant. You've got a box. DM, you know the deets, guys. You've been here long enough, you know what we're doing. So let's start with fragrance E. I hope you've got your box and you've got your strips. I'm going to be lazy and spray from the perfume bottles off camera because it's easier for me to do that on this setup than it is elsewhere. So let's do E. What do we think of E? Who likes E? Who is a fan of E? I love this fragrance. So this is one of those fragrances that I would have found a box to put it in. If it didn't fit this theme, which it does fit this theme, I would have shoehorned it into a theme. I'd have just found one because I love it. It's one of my favourites. Siobhan, you need your box and your strips. We don't ask for much. Come on, sort it out. Jack loved it. Manuela says, smells like a chimney sweep's leather shoe with a spicy plum pudding in it. Manuela, I love that. Have a box. I like that. Anything that mentions chimney sweeps and their plums gets a box. So this is one of the rules of Essential Scents. I liked it. Cozy, gentle and soft, says Rachel. Ellie says it's rubbery. Interesting, Ellie. I totally get that. It's very... yeah, there's so textured, this fragrance. I like it. I love it. Do you like E, says Rhonda, but it was more intriguing on the bottom. Fair enough. Adele likes it. E is so good, says Kirsten. Sophie says wasn't 100% for me, but was pleasant. Gavin saying, I'm hoping it is what I think it is or I'll be lynched. Thanks for the discount days pre-reveal, Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Running up the stairs to get it so I don't get detention. Yes, I actually have the power to administer detention. Parma Violet, says Anna. Old cigar box, says Jack. Love that. Janine says, warm leather coat, sweet spice. Nick says, I have the soap and shower gel for E. So good. Fantastic. So E is a leather, and leathers often come under this family because of their warmth. I'll be honest with you, have always been a bit leather shy. I do find that this, though, is one of the fragrances that got me into leather. So, fun fact about leather perfumes. Leather notes in perfume stem from the tanneries in grass, where leathers, which had been treated with really lovely smelling substances such as urine and feces, were scented to take away the smell. So when in the tanning process, leather goods basically stank because they used wee and poo on them. So they were scented to take away the smell. Materials such as iris, civet, which is from the civet cat, very animalic material, not really used anymore because of animal rights stuff in fragrance. But obviously there are substitutes. Jasmine, strong indolic, were used to perfume leather, and as the need for scent on leather diminished because the tannery processes changed, people still demanded that the smell that they associated with the luxury of leather be on their goods. So it's like you built this association because they scented the leather, then that became the smell of leather. So when it didn't need to have the smell covered up, there was also still a demand for leather goods to smell that way. So that's where the leather perfume came from. So obviously leather is an accord. It's not that nobody's soaking leather and then squeezing out the juices to put it in a perfume. So leather accords are composed from a number of materials, but I think two of the most prominent are birch tar, which is really super smoky, a little bit inky, a bit salty. It's really very strong. And also something else called isobutyl quinoline, which to me always just smells like mushy peas. It's a weird material. But they use that together with floral notes to create a leather accord. So it's a perfumer's construct. I've, as I said, always found leather to be really tricky. It can often be really, really dry because birch tar is so smoky. And I feel that sometimes I feel parched when I'm wearing a leather fragrance, or that it's scorched because it's so dry and smoky. This fragrance, however, though, was my gateway leather drug. The leather that turned me into a bona fide leather daddy. I now can't get enough of this stuff, to be honest with you. Although, just for more leather daddies, just a quick plug, if you love a leather daddy, please test out our bougie queer culture candle, which is available on Escentual. Daddy. Right. I'm going to get kicked off this live for that. Whoopsie. So, a leather flamber. Yes, indeed. I love flamber. I was scared for life going to the Tanneries Marrakesh. That's a smell that lingers. Absolutely. Leather daddy is a whole thing in fragrance. I love a leather daddy fragrance. I've now progressed all the way up to like fragrances like Rose and Queer from Frederic Malle, which is like super leathery, super isobutyl quinoline. And now, yeah, and I wear ombre leather by Tom Ford all the time. Just love leather. I love it. And yes, obviously, bougie. Right. So George called this a beautiful leather scent with jammy berries and dry fire log undertones. He also mentioned hardcover books and Steve McQueen's leather jacket. Lisa said pencil shaving and wine gums, and that dry down to something more leathery and warm. And Gavin said it was incense and leather softened by powdery iris. So how do I perceive this? So there is a fruitiness up top, absolutely. It's got a freshness. There is kind of this like almost berry raspberry thing, but it's subtle. Then you have these kind of very thick layers of black leather. It's a little bit inky. It's kind of a little bit smoky, but ever so softly so. And there's a sweetness to it, which is what I really, really like. It stops it from becoming too salty and too dry. What I think also makes this fragrance really interesting is obviously you have all these wonderful sort of incensey smoke things, this like dryness and earth of patchouli, and then you have the warmth of amber. What you have in the middle is this iris butter accord, which gives it this beautifully doughy texture. So it feels powdery, doughy, warm, leathery, smoky, sweet. That's kind of where I put it in my head. Don't know what you guys think. Let's see. Happy birthday to Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Happy birthday. Siobhan says she said it didn't blow her away initially, but she thinks she's liking it more tonight. Lots of people saying leather daddy. Just saying leather daddy at me. That's fine. You can call me leather daddy with my queer culture. Sorry. I won't plug that again. Sorry, I promise not to pick that up again. I promise. Okay, so there was a lot of love for this one. I could see that in the group. Gavin says it's a plummy leather. Says Nick, lots of mentions of plums this evening. Yeah, plummy, fruity, berry. It's just such a beautifully rich perfume. Okay, it's like wearing a nice expensive leather jacket and drinking rich red wine by a smoky fireplace, which is where I can be found every Friday. Not. Yeah, Aline gets more powder. I definitely get the powder thing from it, and the doughiness. It does almost feel like you're kneading a leathery dough, which we all do. Okay, do you want to know what it is? Louise loves plums. Congratulations, Louise. Get you some plums for Christmas. Okay, so E, we're on fragrance E, for those just joining, is... Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, it is a Miller Harris. It is Étui Noir, which means black case, I think, in French. This came out in 2016 by Perfume Mathieu Nadin, and it is £85 for a 50ml eau de parfum. I just think it's the most beautiful, supple leather, and it's a lived-in leather. It's a smell of an old jacket, cracked and beaten, but filled with memories. Very, very sexy. A staple of mine in autumn and winter. I love it. Love, 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 love. Also, the shower gel, I know Nick mentioned this earlier, it's cracking. You wouldn't expect leather to smell so fresh and clean in the shower, but oh my God, it is heaven. I love, love, love the shower gel. Obsessed with it. So yes, this is the beautiful Étui Noir from Miller Harris. Bit smudgy, sorry. Sweaty hands. This is the 50ml size. £85, 50ml. Big fan. A grape treaders leather shoes. Ooh, I don't think they're supposed to wear shoes. So if people bought this thinking it was the right one, then congratulations to you. You have made the right decision. Étui Noir. So leather sits under the warm category. And we had to have a leather, and if we're going to have a leather, we're going to have the sexiest leather there is. Next to Quick Culture. Sorry, I won't mention it again. Apologise. Veritable Tom of Finland shower experience. Yes, in fact, the more you lather on, the more motorcycle leather daddies join you in the shower. It's a fact. It's just a fact. That's why I go through, I'd say, a pot a week of that. Right. Shall we move on to fragrance F? Who's ready for fragrance F? Ruth has Tom of Finland oven mitts, and that makes her the coolest person on the planet. And Ruth, you get a box because you have Tom of Finland oven mitts. I have a Tom of Finland book on my shelf that used to be a coffee table book. And once my grandma just was leafing through it. And she leafed through it for a very, very long time. And I think we vowed that we would never talk about that experience. Lather daddies. Boom. Rachel's going to get her husband some for Christmas, but maybe not then. He spends long enough in the shower as it is. No judgment. A man's shower is his gentleman's time. Actually just reread my notes and I did say it's familiar. Just a Muppet who can't recognise something I own. That's the thing about the blind trials though. You can be completely thrown off. And that's not wrong. It doesn't mean you don't know how to smell properly. It just means maybe you've not got such a strong association with that fragrance, or smelling it in a different context can really, really throw you. Ruth also has Tom of Finland vodka. I'm not giving you another box, Ruth. No, just one for the oven mitts. A lot to learn from that book, Thomas. Yes, a lot to learn. I think the thing I learned from that is it has quite a wide audience of people. Siobhan, maybe Google that in private mode. Just a heads up. Just a heads up. When's the shower gel live review? DM me, Nick, and we'll sort that out. This is my running joke with Nick. He doesn't actually partake in the joke and he doesn't find it funny, but that doesn't matter. Tom is missing a lot of items that seem to be in Ruth's house. Yes, Ruth has stolen more. I have a Tom of Finland perfume actually, which we used to stock at Escentual, but we don't stock that brand or very much of that brand anymore. I do like Tom of Finland. Who's Tom of Finland, dare I ask? Okay, here we go. Tom of Finland is a Finnish artist. I think his name is like Tuukka or Tauko Laiksonen or something like that. My colleague and Finnish perfumer Pia will probably kill me for pronouncing it like that. He started in sort of the 50s, I think, he was just an artist and he drew gay erotic art, and he became really, really famous for it because it was very explicit, but very, the Tom of Finland people, I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to show you anything explicit, please don't worry. They are very muscular. There's a type. I can't show that one. Absolutely not. No. No, I can't show that. No, definitely not that one. Ah, I can show this one. This one's safe. That's kind of the Tom of Finland style, right? It's kind of very, yeah, very muscular, very leather, very, very queer culture. One of the inspirations for our queer culture candle as well, which I promised I wouldn't mention again, but I just did. So he was very famous for the art. It was very controversial at the time because obviously the world was very, very not so accepting. So yes. That's it. Hester's given the name there. Thank you, Hester. And Vivienne Westwood used his imagery famously on a cowboy t-shirt that she did, Naked Cowboys. So Tom of Finland is like an erotic leather artist, basically. Probably the most famous gay erotic artist. Here we go. We talk about everything, don't we? We really do talk about everything. And yes, there you go. So, and actually, also, what I really like about talking about things like that with you guys is that it just shows you how perfume links into so many different things in our lives, whether there is an actual direct link between that artist, the inspiration, and the fragrance, because obviously fragrances are inspired by lots of things, inspired by the world around us. But it just shows how we pick up on these things as little reference points for what we smell. And I just think that's really, really fascinating. So there you go. No one was expecting that. I will expect my reprimand from Chelsea afterwards. I didn't show anything too rude. Let me see if I can put it. So Tom of Finland can't come on the live because he passed away. He's not joining us. Okay, shall we move on to F? F is not going to involve me picking up erotic art books from the side of my office. I have no relevant books. Okay, let's go for F then. What do we think of F? Who's a fan of F? I think F was a little bit more divisive, I think. Am I doing that off camera? Am I? I saw some people who really liked it and some people who didn't, and I think that's probably because of the floral element. Eileen loved F. So obviously F is a flumber. We're back at the floral amber, or a floral warm. So I picked this kind of as a modern contrast to Classique, which was our floral amber, floral warm in the first half of the box. So we decided on flumber as the correct term, didn't we? I think that's what we agreed. Anyway, this one's more of a contemporary twist. It's weaving an amber accord in between tropical flowers. I think it's really pretty. So yeah, it's tad wispy. F's nice, pungent, not too keen. Recognised it, powdery, sweet, slightly overpowering. Definitely a flumber, Gavin. Rachel liked it. Jen said hairspray. Wouldn't wear it, says Rachel. Happy for a colleague to have it. Lots of white flowers. Siobhan feels she knows it, but doesn't at the same time. But I say that all the time every month. Yeah, you do, and that's fine. I liked it. I don't know perfume language, but it smells like flowers and outside. That, my friend, is perfume language. There is no perfume language. Express it in the way that you want to. Whatever it smells like to you is valid. It really is hairspray. Yeah, I get that's got fizziness to it. So Tiger Lily called it heady, rich floral that's heavy on tuberose. Aline said it reminded her of Jean Patou's Joy, which is a wonderful jasmine, but softer and muskier. Joy has actually been discontinued. Fun fact about Joy. So Dior, when they launched their Joy fragrance, really wanted to call it Joy. But they couldn't call it Joy because Jean Patou had a very famous fragrance called Joy, which at one time was the most expensive perfume in the world because it used like 1 billion jasmine flowers per bottle. It came out just after the great, like the Wall Street crash when people were looking for luxury in other places. So because they couldn't call it Joy, Dior just bought Jean Patou and discontinued the fragrance. They got a lot of money over there at that LVMH, I tell you that. Kirsten said this was her favourite, but she does love a flumber. And she said she had a frankincense vibe as it dried down, which I think is really, really interesting. Meaty floral. Who said meaty floral? Rebecca says meaty floral. I get that. So tuberose is interesting. I don't really see this too much as a tuberose myself, but white flowers can smell quite meaty. So tuberose absolute, if you've ever smelled it, the actual tuberose absolute, you would probably think, why on earth would anyone put this in a perfume? It smells horrible. It's like bubblegum sweet, but then really camphorous and cold, and then also fleshy and meaty. So white flowers absolutely have a meaty thing. Dior should be castrated for that. Frangipani Flambeau, brilliant. So I think this is really, really lovely. Delicate, but also quite powerful, if that makes sense. It's quite large. You've got this really very sort of subtle, fizzy, like fresh citrus thing up top, and then it goes very hot white flower, very French piney, very ylang-ylang, very tropical, a little bit kind of that fresh banana skin greenness you get with ylang-ylang, lots of musk and sort of soft powdery woods, and then just this beautiful amber accord. What I like about this fragrance is it kind of, to me, is very spherical in the sense that it just smells like one thing. So you have all these elements, and maybe it's a sphere sort of painted like with different colours, but it is just this one thing. It's taken all of these other things to become its own smell, which not all perfumes do. Obviously, some perfumes are very identifiable. You can go, oh, there's the vanilla. Hi, vanilla. There's the bergamot. Hey there, how you doing? Whereas with this one, it's just like, oh, this is that fragrance. This is a new smell. Very smooth, very expansive, very fizzy, very nice. Nick says meaty flamber. Deary, deary Nick. The more camphorous, the better, like sucking cold air through your teeth. Absolutely. Naughty Nick is here. I don't think I'd call him that. It'd probably be worse. For meaty flamber. That's a crime. Okay. Do you want to know what it is? Do you want to know? I'm willing to share it with you. Okay, are you ready? So I think I have what is a travel spray. So I'm going to show you the box as well, because this is a 10ml size. Comes in other sizes, but here we go. So this is from Narciso Rodriguez. It is Narciso Ombre Eau de Parfum. Came out in 2020. It is by Perfume Aurélien Guichard, who, if you've joined us for the new box, did the Burberry Hero, and also has his own brand, Matier Premier, which I think we've talked about. This is £42.50 for a 30ml Eau de Parfum. It is a flanker to Narciso, which is the one in the kind of white cube bottle. I love that. I have drained several bottles of that because it is beautiful. And this is a kind of warmer, more ambery, resinous, also more tropical floral version. The original Narciso is very abstract gardenia, very white display space. Like I imagine that as like a white kind of gallery in New York, and there's just a giant gardenia in the middle. And I think this is lovely. Very, very easy to wear, very, very chic. As all the Narciso things are. We've had Narciso in a couple of boxes. I feel like we had Narciso in a new box earlier this year, probably April's box, new box, Chelsea, I think, where we had the Musk Noir, which was a bit of a sexy, filthy musk. And then we had the Narciso for her in the Chypre box. So there you go. That's this one. So we've included a lot of Narciso. I like that. It's a good brand. Chelsea got a sneak peek of Narciso 2022 today. How unfair is that? We want a sneak peek, Chelsea. It's a more sociable joy. I've got, yeah, I agree. Rich ladies who summit in the Hamptons and maybe murder their husbands for their oil money would wear this. Siobhan, we very much condone the murder of husbands for their oil money. So for that, you may get a box. And I think I've given away 4 boxes. I don't know. I haven't been counting. Siobhan wants it now. There was some clarification up the top about what phrase we're talking about. It's F. We had 2 Narcisos, Aline has told me. Thank you, Aline. I wouldn't know what I would do without you. This is definitely going on the Christmas list. A very poetic phrase. It's a more sociable joy. Yes, agree. That's very pathetic. Love you too, Siobhan. Love you too. Who doesn't love a filthy, sexy musk? Exactly, exactly. I wear that musk a lot, actually. I also wear the pure musk quite a lot. I like that as well. And I wear the Narciso for him, which I don't know if they still do now, the grey one, but I really like that because it smells like pavements, and I like that smell. Okay, shall we move on to G? Who is ready for G? I feel like I need like a raven. I'm going off camera to spray G. I'm not revealing it again like I did that one time. Let's do G. This one, Eileen, it is Narciso Ombre. Sorry, that's a bit, do I need to do the influencer thing? There you go. Narciso Ombre. We'll confirm after. Singing Taylor Swift, The Last Great American Dynasty, and thinking of the Hamptons' murderous wives. Absolutely. Let's hope she releases a 10-minute version. Rachel had the lid wrong way around on this one and sprayed directly into my slightly open mouth. Got a whiff of caramel and a taste of death. I'm sorry, Rachel. I'm very sorry. I once did that with a bottle of Secretion Magnifique where the sprayer was pointed the wrong way and I took a spray to the face. Never recovered. Had therapy. Took one for the team that day. The Dylan Turquoise reveal where I just held it in front of the camera like an idiot. Idiot. Guys. They could get someone who's much better at this, but they choose me because they love me. Aren't they great? Right. We live for the Dylan moment to be repeated. It will be. There is such danger of that happening this evening, honest to God. So let's do G. I think G is an interesting one. So remember A? Let's go back to A, which was the Serge Lutens Ombre Sultan, the reference amber. Well, this is also a reference of amber. And if you're just joining us now and you didn't watch the other live, amber is an accord which uses labdanum, benzoin and vanilla. It's kind of resinous, spicy, sweet, fuzzy, glowing, meant to evoke the feeling of amber, which always makes me think of Jurassic Park when he's got the cane and it's got the little mosquito in the amber. That's what that makes me think of, but that's what it's trying to reference without the mosquito. So this is a rendition of that accord, but done in a much more modern way. And I think the surprise here is that amber, which is quite a heavy genre, if you remember the Ombre Sultan, it isn't a light fragrance, it is wonderfully heavy and enveloping, gives a gourmand twist in this fragrance. So there's an amber, which is heavy, but there's also a gourmand facet here, which is also heavy. But all in all, it feels really lightweight and fresh. I think it's fascinating stuff. And I think what I like about it is it does something very, very different from all other ambers, because it does the gourmand thing one, which in itself is very different, but also it does the fresh thing as well. It's very transparent. Like salted caramel dripping from lipstick-covered lips. Absolutely. Salted caramel truffle. Smells like a public toilet on paper, says Jack. Is that on paper or toilet paper? Deliciously lipsticky. Lots of people getting a cosmetic vibe. I've sprayed my pits with hairspray after shaving. Ouch and some. Wow, that hurts, Tiger Lily. I would not do that. G says there's a toffee caramel thing going on. And it does it better than something like Bon Bon, which is the Vitron Rolf, which goes super, super sticky sweet. This doesn't quite do that. So, Claire called it creamy and milky, but said she felt anosmic to it. And I've seen a lot of people say they felt that it was very, very light and they couldn't smell it. Adele called it a briefly bright little cloud, quickly blown away in a puff of wind. And Dorota said it was fun and sweet for daytime, but developed into something more sexy. So this is an amber, but an amber if it was diluted a bit and made into caramel. It's got a wonderful fizz of freshness up top. It feels almost aldehydic, I think. It's kind of bubbly. But I think normally in amber, it's kind of meant to be this overlap of materials. But in this fragrance, benzoin is the star. They've really put that front and center. So it's been pushed into the center of the amber accord, which gives it this fluffy, resinous, crystalline feel. The whole thing has the texture of honey, and it's like wearing a big fluffy scarf, and I love it. Disappeared quickly, but smelled good on skin. Mr. Kipling almond slice, says Helen. Ooh, sticky toffee pudding. Everyone's making me hungry now. Falling into a vat of boiling caramel. It is quite grown up for a sweet thing. Gore Amber, says Gavin. Gavin, how do we kick someone out of the chat? How do we do that? Unrelated, sorry, not about you, Gavin. I'm kidding. Nostalgic, plasticine. I get that. There's an almond thing in there. There's a subtle almond thing. Everyone's making me hungry. So, do you want to know what it is? Would you like the reveal of this wonderful gourmand amber that is fresh? This is me subtly trying to hide it away so nobody sees what I've got in my hand. And interesting that lots of people say cosmetic. I don't really get a cosmetic vibe from it, and I haven't thought about it in that way. But that's interesting. It obviously has, if lots of people are saying it. I really like this. I really, really like it. Do you want to know what it is? Okay, are you ready? Drum roll, please. Again, I'm doing my little, just polish the bottle thing, off camera. Okay, this is Candy by Prada, which will be a surprise to absolutely nobody. Nick says it's what you get when you dip your flamber in caramel. Nick, please don't do that. It burns and you need your flamber. You need it. You can't live a day without it. So this is by perfumer Daniela Andre, who's done all of the modern Prada fragrances. Came out in 2011, an amber with caramel and musks. And it's £46.75 for a 30ml eau de parfum. I love the bottle. It looks like a weird little umbrella. I love the pink. This is Prada's All Out Gourmand, but done in that signature fresh way that Prada do. I really feel like it could be part of their Infusion series, which you can see behind me here. Let me just pick this up. Yeah, we did Infusion DVC, now green. Those are all very lightweight, fresh, powdery, sparkly. And I think this could sit with it. It's kind of Infusion d'Ombre or Infusion de Benzoin, maybe. A beautifully light and fluffy amber gourmand with lots of freshness and sparkle. For those who do not want something heavy, I really, really love it. I think it's so beautiful. And yeah, you can see. This is my own bottle, actually. I've had this bottle for quite some time. You can see how much of it I've used. There you go. So I'm a fan. This is very much my vibe, you know, candy perfume boy, Prada candy. I will be suing. I've actually had an ongoing lawsuit against Prada since this came out in 2011 because how dare they use my name and my blog colour on their perfume. The audacity. So we go. Prada candy. Should I be proud or ashamed? I don't know, Nick. I think probably shame is the best feeling. Maybe we need to get the shame nun from Game of Thrones. Shame. Is benzoin the ultimate I get? How would you describe it? Benzoin is sweet, gauzy, resinous. It's got a strange sort of fluffiness to it, but it's also quite transparent. It's a little bit like you could eat it, but not quite. Like salted caramelly, strange. It's beautiful. I love benzoin. Thomas, do you want to know that this is Davina's Do You Want Another One? Or you're live on Channel 4, please do not swear. I'm happy to be compared to Davina because she's a snack. It's gorgeous, but I'm not a fan of the flankers, just the original. Yeah, I never really liked the flankers, I'll be honest. The original is where I wanted to be. There you go. Prada candy. Stole my name, Prada, so I'm mad at you. There you go. I don't know why I'm doing this. Let's move on. Time to move on. We've got one more, and then we're done. And there we go. What happened to the if this was a, what would it be? I just was trying to mix up the formula this evening, to be honest, and do something a little bit different. But if you miss it all, I will include it again in the next live. Happy for feedback. Always. Right, let's do H. What do we think of H? You are live on Escentual. Please toe the line between appropriate and Tom of Finland. And I think you'll all agree, that we have stepped over that line and we can see the line, but it's very far away from us now. And there is no going back. Let's do H. Oh, strong stuff. Strong, robust, masculine stuff. I wanted to include a masculine in the box, like a actual full-on marketed as masculine, because everything else has either been unisex or genderless or feminine. So, Ombre Sultan, unisex. Classique, feminine. Opium, feminine, although it smells masculine these days. Obsession was the women's obsession. Then we have Etui Noir, which is unisex, probably leans masculine. And then we had the Narciso, which was feminine. And then we had Prada Candy, which was also feminine. So I wanted to do something that was just masculine. Bearing in mind that anybody can wear any of these, as you know. You guys know that. You like all sorts of them, and you just wear all sorts, because you guys are great. You guys get it. But I wanted to include one that was just marketed as masculine. So that's what we've got. And this one is another amber, again, because this is a warm amber box. But it's a modern amber, but also a masculine one. And this typifies the style that was kind of popularized with fragrances such as 1 Million by Paco Rabanne. So it's like kind of slightly gourmand amber, but with a more pronounced spice facet. And I feel like kind of that weird sort of metallic freshness. Yes, I like it very much. Nettles and mint, I found this quite cold, but I like it. Yeah, there is a freshness to it, absolutely. Someone please tell me, was this box nice? It's on my bedside table, will I be able to smell it? Yes, it was a nice box. 10 out of 10. I get to say that because I put it together. So, Manuela, Siobhan, Kirsten, I think I've done more than that. Have I only done 3? H is the murdered Hampstead husband. I've got to really run with the scene. You keep it going, Siobhan. I want that novel. Citramber, adore H, just want to roll about in it, love it. Lovely on skin and paper, I think it's pretty unisex. Smell of the hunk jumping out from Debbie Wigmore's birthday cake. Ooh, Debbie. Oh no, Hester tested positive. I hope you're okay, Hester. I hope you're recovering. I'm sad that you have COVID. That's not good. Ready to watch it on Hallmark? Agree. Hester, I hope you feel better soon. Hester, we're all saying Hester. I'm behind on the chat, obviously, as you guys can tell, because you're way ahead of me. Yeah. I think... So, what I find really interesting about this is... So, lots of spice fragrances do the kind of dry spice thing. So, it's the pepper or the cinnamon and the pink pepper, which is the fruitiness, or clove. This kind of almost does... I don't want to say a wet spice, because I think that's a disgusting image. But kind of a fresh spice. So to me, it's very red pepper. It's that kind of piquant, sort of juicy spice. Then you've got like the cinnamon. And someone said nettles, and I get that. It's green and leafy. And then you have this kind of rich, sort of warm, gourmand amber with a tobacco vibe that gives it this sort of cherryness. We've got one more box, Chelsea's telling me. Which Spice Girl was the wet one? I'm refusing to answer that before I feel it may incriminate me. Boozy Cake. Yeah, I think Boozy Cake. Mr. Kipling do these wonderful Christmas slices, and they come in little packs of like 3 times 2 little slices, and it's like a little bit of fruitcake with a bit of icing on top. And I've eaten a lot of those. Completely irrelevant, but I'm just talking about cake. Being buried in a boozy Christmas cake, says Wendy. I agree, Wendy. I agree. Damp Spice, she was said before wannabe. Gavin. You're a national treasure, Gavin. But good as a candle. Interesting. Soggy Spice, says Jack. Soggy Spice. Jack, have a box for Soggy Spice. I know you were building upon Damp Spice, but sometimes you got to workshop a joke all the way through. I love that. That was funny. The Kipling Christmas slices, Siobhan, aren't they amazing? I've got to stop buying them because I keep eating them. Yeah, I like this. I think this is good for a man. I think this is quite good for a young man. If you've got any teenage boys that you know, maybe they are related to you. If they're not related to you, leave them alone. But I think it is quite a good sort of modern, fresh, spicy, current, trendy fragrance to wear. I like it. I like it a lot. Smells more fresh than spicy to me. Yeah, I get that. It's definitely fresh. Okay, Hugo Boss bottle jumped out at me when I was smelling it. Yeah, I think I get that. We want a Kipling slice in next month's box. That's up to Chelsea. I might eat them all day. Lil Nas X. I like that. I could see Lil Nas X wearing this. He's a dude. We love Lil Nas X. Okay, you ready? Do you want to know what it is? Here you go. You ready? It is Spice Bomb Infrared. Yes, Infrared. I forgot the name. By Victor and Rolf. I was going to say Paco Rabanne. I told you I'm very tired. This is an Eau de Toilette, came out in 2021, so it's a new launch, came out this year. And it is £47.60 for a 50ml Eau de Toilette. Love it. Very nice. The original Spice Bomb is less fresh, I would say. This has got that really cool hot chili thing going on, which I think makes it a little bit different. I like it. I think it's nice. Has a little bit of red on the bottle. Grenade bottle, of course, because 'tis the controversial grenade bottle, which they won't sell in airports, I believe, or they used to not sell in airports, based on Flower Bomb and Spice Bomb. There you go. And it's definitely citrusy. It's got like a red berry thing up top. Also got a lot of saffron in there, or saffroline. Saffron or something in there. Very saffron-y. And then the core theme is like habanero, red pepper, and cinnamon leaf. Definitely. Yes, it's Flanker 2 Spice Bomb. So let's do a quick recap then, while I've got it in my mind. So, first one was our wonderful leather daddy that we're calling Etui Noir. Well, we're not calling it that. That's what Miller Harris called it. We're calling it a leather daddy, which is that beautifully like fruity, smoky, doughy, textured leather thing that's just sexy and great in the shower. Talked a lot about that. Talked a lot about Top of Finland and, you know, a shower with that. I don't know where we went with it, but it was fine. Then we had our like more modern Flumber, which is our floral amber or floral one, which was the Narciso, which has a really beautiful like tropical white floral warmed by amber. Then we had Prada Candy, which was our modern gourmand amber with loads of freshness. And then we finished off with a beautiful Spice Bomb, which is Spice Bomb Infrared. There you go. That was it. That was the live. That's it for November. November is done and dusted now. Next box is Gourmand. That is on sale now. Chelsea will tell you when that comes off sale. It should be soon, I would think. So that will come off sale soon. And yeah, I don't know if there are any live offers on the site, but all I will tell you is that it's Black Friday tomorrow. So, just saying. Just putting that out there. Just you know, dropping that little hint. So I will see you all in December for Gourmand, which I'm very much looking forward to, because I do love a Gourmand. I hope you all enjoyed the warm box. I thought it was a really fun journey. I enjoyed looking through warms with you. And yeah. Oh, Chelsea saying 6th of December is the last day and they do not have many left. That's good news. Well, not, you know, it's good news that people are buying it. That's good. I like that. Already bought the Gourmand box. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody. I will save this in the chat. If you're watching this now, this is not the right live. You're on the wrong live. This is an old live now. I will see you all very soon. Keep chatting, blah, 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 blah. Hope you all enjoyed warm. Hope you're going to buy lots of warm fragrances and wear lots of warm fragrances. Keep us up to date. If you find that you've loved any of the fragrances or if you've bought any of them, let us know. I'm always about that. My favourite from the box, before I go, was Obsession. I really enjoyed revisiting that fragrance. I hope you had a lovely time. I'll see you all soon. And make sure, guys, one last thing I want to leave you with. Always look after your flumber and never dip it in hot caramel. Goodbye, everybody.